Hi everybody, welcome back to our life beginnings and always. Yesterday we did the charity. I really wanted to do that one because that's where we confess our love for Cove and he confesses it back. It was very emotional, but loved it, loved it, loved it, loved it. And we had a make out session there too. So yeah. All right. Forgot to go full screen. There we go. So right now we are going to do errands, and then after that, if I feel up to it, I'll do the talks moment. I'd really like to get two of them done today, and then after that, the day like tomorrow or whenever, I'll do the drive moment, and then do the summer, do the last part, summer ended, and then I'm gonna go start over to the DLCs for step one because I didn't get to do those. Like I said before, in the past, I had downloaded the DLCs through a different server, and that server, I don't know what was going on with that, but I couldn't load it had trouble loading it to the game, so I had to go through Steam games, and that really worked. So I totally recommend, if you're gonna do this game, have this game, and get the DLCs. It is so worth it just to go through Steam games. So it's just a program that you can download to your computer, and then for Steam, and then set up an account there, and then buy your DLCs to that. The game itself is free to download, and you can download it through Steam games as well. It's free, and then once you get that, you can buy the DLCs, and it'll automatically load. Should automatically load to the to your game, because I didn't have any problems with it at all. Really, it just went right through. So anyway, we're gonna start with errands today. Get my keyboard out here so I get relaxed. And if I sound a little nasally today, it's because my allergies are acting up again, as usual. And I don't have my... Give me a moment. I also got to set up my sign too on the door. Oh, okay. So this is where they go to the farmer's market. All right. I remember this one. I'm not going to give anything away, so we'll just play through it and you'll see what happens. From the moment you woke up, you knew what you knew that today was going to be busier than usual. There was a list of errands that needed to be finished. And my dang sock wants to come loose. Alright, there we go. Alright. First up was visiting one of the biggest farmers markets in the area. It was only open 2 weekends a month during certain parts of the year. It was rare that you and your family were able to attend, so your moms liked to make the most out of every minute of it. And you realized it was not just them feeling that way when you heard a whistle from your left side. Wow, this is a swanky show. Vegetables have never seemed so highbrow, says Mr. Holden. Cove, your dad is very gorgeous. I mean, okay, just saying. I can see where you get your looks from. Seriously, they don't mess around with their products, says Mom.
Isn't that great?
Isn't it exciting? Asked Ma. Liz crossed her arms. You could tell she was amused. We couldn't have picked a more perfect trip. It's been too long since we've had a true family outing, says Liz. Her teasing tone said more than she actually did. Your next door neighbors had joined you this day, and that's what made it a true family outing. The three parents laughed approvingly. Out of the corner of your eye, you caught Cove looking at you sympathetically. Some things never changed, and some jokes never died. You'd long accepted that. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna do the first one. You were excited to check things out. There were so many stalls you couldn't even imagine what hidden gems you might find among them. Bubbling with anticipation, you smiled. I haven't been to a farmer's market in a long time. Back where I used to live in Tacoma, during the summer they had a farmer's market right outside of the apartments where I used to live. That was during the weekends, of course. Saturday and Sunday, I think. And they had quite a bit of stuff out there, so yeah, it's pretty cool. Anyway, did I read this part? Yeah, I did. Well, I'm ready to get started. I've got plenty of dishes in mind I could use ingredients for it, Mr. Holden says. Before your moms responded to that, they glanced at each other and smiled. Yes, that's a very good idea, Cliff. This place is much larger than it seems. It's difficult to visit each part in a single day, says Mom.
I got it.
I'm sure we can make a decent dent together at least, says Mr. Holden. Actually, since there are so many of us this time, we could take different sides of the market, says Mom.
Sounds good.
Divide and conquer, huh? That sounds brilliant, says Mom. Everyone watched your mom's surprised. No one had considered that an option, but your mom flashed the group a dazzling smile, continuing with the thought. Though it's a little unfair that there are 4 Prince family members and only 2 Holdens here, so I'll go with you boys to even out the odds, says Mom.
Okay.
That's fine with me, says Mom. Cliff scratched the back of his neck and slowly met Cole's stare. They both seemed unconvinced, but weren't sure what to say about it. Don't worry, we'll be apart for only a few hours, and then you'll have something to talk about at the end of it, says Mom. Father and son ultimately nodded. This wasn't an argument. They were going to win.
All right.
Alright. I don't get the point, but I also don't mind spending the first part of the trip with Chippy and Ma, says Liz. Ma clapped her hands together at that. Wonderful. Are the teams ready to go? Asked Ma. Can I be the one who goes with the Holdens instead? I asked. You look from your mom to your mom, hopeful that you at least get to explore the market with Cove. He perked up at the suggestion, but then you saw Ma was pounding at your request to leave our group.
Sorry.
No can do this time, kiddo, says Mom. Seeing that neither parent was budging, you slumped her shoulders. We won't be split up for too long, right? I asked. Ma hooked an arm around you in a little side hug. You grinned.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Chippy, says Mom. Taking the lead, Mom walked over towards Cove and Cliff, who were still eyeing her confusedly. I hate these allergies. Sorry.
Let's go.
Come on, boys. We're heading out, says Mom. Sure, says Miss Roll. Okay, says Cove. Cove looked at you softly and found himself pulled forward, stopping in front of you. His expression flickered for a moment, hesitant.
Bye.
Says Cove. Bye, I exclaimed. Cove lightly took one of your hands in his and gave it a small squeeze. He dipped his face forward, wanting to kiss farewell. When instead he stopped midway, his whole body stiff. He jerked his gaze back at your mom, and you realized that she had grabbed the hem of his shirt. She gave it a small tug before letting go.
No, no, no.
Time's a wasting, Cove, and I've known you long enough to be aware that you're one to linger. If I don't stop you now, you'll only drag your feet on parting ways more, says Mom. Two of you can snuggle and make out as much as you want later. We have important shopping to do now. Oh, she knows about us, doesn't she? She's got our number. Cove gasped at what he felt was truly an obscene thing to say. His face burned red, but that was ignored by him. He spoke with an unimpressed roll of the eyes.
Seriously?
You don't need to literally pull me away from Chippy. I'm not that clingy, says Cove. Mom sniggered with a shake of her hand. Cove's eyebrows raised over the reaction, and he turned to Mom. She didn't meet his eyes as she whistled incessantly. Liz smirked ear to ear, and Cove whipped his head towards his dad. Mr. Holden couldn't offer anything more than an apologetic shrug. It was only then that it dawned on Cove that everyone did think that he was that needy. Finally, he dared to face you with a wide, pleading eyes. I'm gonna go with the third one. Cove is totally capable of being independent when he wants to be. Of course he is. The only reason why we want to be together is because we have affection for each other. Nothing wrong with that. You spoke very matter of fact and fixed stern gaze on the group. Cove, meanwhile, beamed at having your support. Without thinking, Cove took another step forward, feeling drawn to you. Also, again, Mom grabbed the back of his shirt. She tried suppressing her laughter, but A few chuckles escaped. Actions speak louder than words, says Mom. Cole's mouth twisted as he struggled to come up with something to say in his defense. He was nearly embarrassed all over again. Yeah, well, says Cove. So what? Asks Cove. That admission had Liz, your mom's, and his dad bursting into laughter. Cove glanced and walked several steps from the group before stopping. He clearly wanted to move on, so much that he was physically moving away. I'll see you soon, Lex exclaimed. For a moment, you weren't sure if Cove heard you over the noise of the market, but then he nodded. You smiled softly, watching him get over his embarrassment and relax a bit.
See you later.
See you in a few hours, says Mom. Take care of yourselves, says Mr. Holm. At that, Mom picked a direction and set out into the market with Mr. Holden and Cole following behind her. Grinning, Ma set them off with a big wave. Liz gave a daintier goodbye wave herself. Let's see. I'm gonna go with the first one. Despite the change in plans, you were still glad to be there. If it wasn't that what you'd imagined, but that didn't matter. There was a whole market to explore, and you couldn't wait to find some good stuff. Then you were gone. Ma cheerily turned towards you and Liz. She put her hands on her hips. Do you think they'll be any nice ginger around here? Asked Ma. Well, we'll have to find out, says Liz. You nodded in agreement, keen to truly get the trip going. Ma led both of you into the busy market. Some time passed browsing. There were only a few stalls you stopped at. You had fun chatting and laughing, pointing out various things to Ma and Liz, and vice versa. At one point, Ma stopped suddenly. She put a hand on her belly and gave a half-hearted smile. I think I should have used the bathroom before we left home, like the two of you responsibly did, says Mom. Just need to pee, asked Liz.
Yes.
Liz, I'll have to visit the ladies' room now, says Mom. Should we wait here? I asked. Ma craned forward as she struggled to to pinpoint the direction she needed to go. She really brushed her coat away. There's no need to worry about me for this. I'll waste time standing around. Keep on shopping, says Mom. Though actually I might need help finding my way. Can you please come, Lizzie? Asked Mom. You and your sister had to share a look at over that. Why that of all things?
Hey!
Ma, if anyone should go anywhere on their own, shouldn't it be you? You're the one needing a detour, and you're the parent here, says Liz. Ma giggled and unfazed by the resistance. Liz meanwhile tapped the brow of her hat, watching Ma skeptically. Soon enough, Chippy will have to handle doing these kind of things of errands on his own. This makes it good practice, says Mom. What? I asked. Ma hooked her arm around Liz and pulled her along.
Have fun!
We'll find each other again later, says Mom. Excuse me, says Liz. Oh, shoot. Hi. Hi. It was all you could muster as Ma and Liz waded into the crowd. They were out of sight within moments, and what started as a group outing repeatedly became you, entirely on your own. This one. You thought Ma was being ridiculous, but didn't really mind. You weren't sure what alter motives Ma had for pulling this, but that was far down on your priority list at the moment. You are starting to feel happy at the idea of doing things at your own pace. Oh, shit. Should I text Cove? No, we'll probably meet up here, so... you walked off on your own. You resigned to your fate. You picked up where you left off, browsing the stalls. One hooked your attention. While most stalls were selling various garden-grown foods, this one had an array of homemade fudge. There were vegan versions of every option. You got closer to the stall. You sidestepped it past a few other people and got yourself right in front of the counter for a better look. There was a wide spread, dozens and dozens of delicately cut squares of decadence. The owner smiled, approached you, and explained their shop. The fudge was sold in boxes of 4 pieces. They either can be all in the same, or all different, or mix you like, or any mix you like. Are you looking to buy any today? Asked the seller. Yeah, you wanted to get a box to share with everyone. The whole selection was too good not to share. You wanted to get a box just for Cove as well, so yes, we'll do that. Looking at the treats you may think of Cove, you grinned, hoping he liked what you picked out. And I'll get myself a box as well. Your mind was already filling with thoughts of sinking your teeth into the delicious fudge. There was no walking away empty-handed now. I'll be right back. I gotta check on something. Sorry about that. I'm back. Get over there. Okay. Okay, I read this part, I think. Yeah. And that was all. Yep. Yeah, I could use some fudge, I exclaimed. I'm glad you came to the right place then, says the seller. For yourself, you picked chocolate peanut butter. That's my favorite. One of my favorites. That's my mom's favorite, obviously. And I'll get a cookies and cream one. And what else? White chocolate, that's the third one. And dark chocolate mint. For the group you picked, red velvet, chocolate peanut butter, why not? Caramel, and dark chocolate mint. For Cove, you picked, I think he would like chocolate peanut butter. Or not. Let's see. Chocolate toffee. Dark chocolate mint. And key lime. And the shop owner carefully put your order together. You were already looking forward to when you'd eat your fine selection of fudge. You couldn't help but try to imagine how Cove might react when you presented this to him. Everyone else definitely going to be happy when you regrouped later. You paid, and there was no stopping the large grin going across your face. Proving your heels, you rove your way back to the center of the path. You pondered for a moment what you should do now. None of the stalls were catching your eye. What did grab your attention, however, was the head of a familiar seafoam hair sticking out above the crowd. You knew instantly it was Cove. See, I knew we'd catch up with him here. He hadn't noticed you yet, but he was walking in your direction. He held a couple of bags tightly in his hand. Excuse me. He couldn't spot your mom or his dad anywhere. You called out to him. Standing firm, you cupped your hands around your mouth for added protection. You took a deep breath. Cove Holden, get your butt over here. Get that booty over here. Yes, bring your butt over here so I can squeeze it. Yeah. He instantly stopped dead in his tracks. Alert Cove's head snapped up, and his eyes searched the crowd until they landed on you. His whole demeanor brightened at the sight. Chippy, says Cove. He waved through passerby awkwardly in an attempt to get through as fast as responsibly possible, nearly stumbling more than once. It only took a moment for him to arrive. It was undeniably that he was shopping by himself. You stared at him, confused. Did you ditch your group? I asked. More like they ditched us. Cove crossed his arms deftly, the bags twisted in front of him. Your mom took my dad and ended up alone. Why are you by yourself? Cove asked. Ma and Liz abandoned me too, I exclaimed.
What?
Asked Cove. I can't believe this happened to both of us. I exclaimed. They planned it. They had to. But I don't know why. Are they pranking us? Asked Cove. I don't know either, I exclaimed. And you meant it. You couldn't fathom what your moms were up to. Cove shook his head, trying to clear his mind.
So...
Well, says Cove. His changed tone caught your attention. You watched your eyes start to twinkle with mischief as his mouth pulled into a cheeky smile. Well, come on, Cove. We might as well make the best of it. We got to be with each other, so we can spend some time here. The rest of our family are gone, so doing whatever they're doing. So might as well just be me and you. I mean, that's what kind of we wanted anyway. So might as well go for it. You know, it is technically later, and your mom isn't around this time, says Cove. You chuckled, knowing exactly what he was implying. That incident was already replaying in your head. You kissed him. You stepped closer, placing a hand on his upper arm. Cove beamed and leaned in. It was quick, too quick, but you could feel him smile through it. When you both did part, Cove chuckled affectionately. I'm glad it's later, says I exclaimed.
Me too.
Says Cove. So, his gaze wandered off as one of your parents might simply appear if he kept checking, and you could tell he was still processing the situation. He scratched the back of his head, looking sheepishly. Do you want to forget about whatever's happening and go shopping together? Asked Cove. Of course. Definitely. There was little care in your mind for what your moms had planned. You were ecstatic at the thought of spending the rest of the trip with him. Cole's grin twisted into a conspiratorial one, something like that, I don't know. You both knew that you were going against whatever had been planned for this outing. But luckily, neither of you cared one bit at this point. So, where to first? I don't mind going back the way I came if it's new to you, says Cove. It's not hard to miss stuff, even if I've gone past it, says Cove. What have you gotten? I asked. Cove stuffed his bags, shuffled his bags around, and started pulling them open so you could peek inside each one. You recognized the array of things he picked up around the market. I mostly got typical things I can use pretty easily so far. Nothing super exciting, says Cove. There were a few peppers, some lemons, sweet potatoes, among other things that were wrapped up so you couldn't discern what they were. What Cove brought made sense. But it was far from a couple selection. You glanced around at nearby stalls. Want to start over there? I asked. Cove followed your eye as pointed at one of the larger stalls. It was filled with several kinds of staple fruits and vegetables.
Come on.
Yeah, let's go, says Cove. Once a few people finished paying, and moved, you and Cove got yourselves directly in front of the shop. There were so many things to pick from. Let's see. Let's get some peaches, strawberries, onions, peppers, lettuce, tomatoes, and cucumbers, lemons, limes, that's it. The shop owner put your selection together and handed it to you in a couple bags. You happily paid and waited for Cove to make his purchase. Ready to go? Asked Cove. Cove grinned, satisfied with his new choices. He had added another bag to his small but growing collection. You nodded. Oh, wait. Before we start moving on and everything, wanna hold hands? Duh. Yeah. We're couples, so might as well. You held onto his hand. There was no way you could say no to that face. Delighted, you laced your fingers with his without hesitation. Cove squeezed your hand back with renewed eagerness. Your boyfriend nodded his head in the direction you had been going towards.
All right.
Okay, let's go, says Cove. Together, you and Cove wandered the market, on the lookout for any stalls that caught your attention. Cove was walking around with spring in his step, talking about the various meal ideas he had in mind. After a while, you had to go greater distances to find something of interest. Several stalls were selling the same goods. It was only a matter now of which you wanted to buy from. You continued ambling down the path until Cove stopped suddenly, literally pulling you away from your thoughts. Cove, I asked. You followed your eyeline past the crowds. Immediately you knew what grabbed him. Homemade jams and local honey. That stall was glittering with quart glass jars stacked high, each encasing gels of varying colors. Cole's eyes were practically sparkling at the sight. His feet automatically began to take him there. Likely without being fully aware, he had made an unexplained detour. When you got closer, you were surprised there were even more varieties than you thought. There were even different honeys based on what type of pollen the bees used. Cove's focus seemed torn between a bottle of blackberry jam and one of clover honey. Want some honey, honey? You asked earnestly. Cute. You spoke without hint of irony in the pet name. You thought it was sweet, and the smile it got from Cove made it even sweeter. He nodded. You thought things over to yourself too. Let's get some raspberry jam. What else? Orange blossom honey. And some strawberry jam. Oh, and some blueberry jam. And that was everything. You paid, and the shop owner started putting together your order. They carefully packed it in a single bag with paper. Thank you very much, I exclaimed. Amused, you watched Cove give in and just buy both the clover honey and blackberry jam. He also went all in getting spring flower honey and plum jam too. The shop owner thoughtfully wrapped each in brown paper to protect them before putting them away in a bag. He handed the purchase to Cove.
Thank you,
says Cove. You both stepped away from the stall. Cove didn't fail to notice the look you'd been giving him since he agonized over his toast toppers. Hey, this doesn't go bad for a long time, so why not stock up? I could have chosen one if I wanted to, says Cove. Sure, I get it. Why do you think I got so many too, I ask. Good then, says Cove. As you began to stroll, Cove looked up at the sky. He smiled. It was sort of unexpected, considering all this was technically an errand, and unexpected changes often upset him. But he was happy, and Cove liked doing things doing things kind of normal thing. And you could tell that Cove especially enjoyed doing these kinds of things with you. Okay. You are feeling the same as him. You weren't going to let what happened put a damper on this alley. We're so domestic. Cove took a sharp intake of air and started coughing for a moment afterwards. He looked at you and your teasing grin and chuckled.
You're right.
You're right.
That's true, I like it, says Cove. Later, you spotted a less crowded area. You took a break from browsing. Cove started rummaging through one of his bags, just check on how his goods were doing. A smile grew on his face as he went on to the next. He chuckled, knowing for sure that Cove wouldn't let anything go to waste. He was going to eat it all. You held a hand in front of your face as you squinted towards. The sun had moved quite a bit. You'd been at the market for a good while now. Neither your feet nor your arms were sore right now, and Cove looked to be doing fine too, but that was something that could be coming. There was a price to pay for this much shopping, and it wasn't always just in money. No, I'm not gonna ask for a piggyback ride. I think we're too old for that. You know, probably too big for it now. Anyway. Could you carry my things?
Sure.
Sure.
I ask. Okay, hand them over. For you, I can do it, says Cove. Thank you, I exclaimed. You flashed him your best smile and passed him the bags. Your arms were already feeling better as you watched Cove add your things to his own bundle. Thank you, I exclaimed. He nodded while in thought. Cove was still deciding on how he was going to manage them all. You watched as Cove hooked a few bags on the forearm of his left side. And then he grabbed the remaining things in that same hand. It confused you. He noticed your expression and then reached over to give you your hand a gentle stroke of his thumb. This hand is already holding something, says Cove. Flattered, you couldn't help but squeak a little as your face burned. You had no idea Cove could do so much just to hold your hand. And with that, you and Cove continued your trip through the market together. Mom had both texted you during the trip, though only to say that they hoped you'd found some good stuff and that they'd see you later. There were no answers on where they went or why. You and Cove continued to wind your way through the bustling market. The list of outstanding items slowly shrinking while bags grew heavier. Eventually, Cove realized that he hadn't checked his own phone in a while, his hands being preoccupied for the last while. He asked to let go for now, and you agreed. The two of you came to a stop in the nearest alcove where you'd be out for a steady stream of people pursuing the stalls, and he pulled out his phone. Cove rearranged all the bags he was carrying, freeing a hand so that he could pull out his phone. You watched his eyes dart over the screen as he read the waiting messages. Not important. I can reply to that later, says Cove. He mumbled his verdict under his breath. Then Cove's face scrunched up with confusion.
Huh?
Wait, I've got a message from my dad. Listen to this. Cove, I wasn't a part of the plan. I didn't know what was going on when I left with Chippy's mom. Where are you? He asks. He sent that ages ago. I didn't hear it come in. He's sent another one since then. Says he hopes I'm alright and that he's not bothering me, says Cove. This newest one says everybody's going to the parking lot soon and we can meet up there, says Cove. He lowered his phone, eyes narrowed. The same conclusion that was settling on you had landed on Cove as well. So it was on purpose, says Cove. Yeah, he's getting annoyed from all this. He lifted the phone again, staring hard at the screen. Didn't my mom pull this stunt when we were little? You know, that time she took us to the mall, asked Cove. Let's see. I'm going to say this first one. At least your mom said that she was leaving. Yeah, that's true, says Cove. It's like they didn't even tell us what was going on. They just left it there. My mom said she was going to go to the bathroom, and Liz went with her, so. And then Cove got separated from his party for whatever reason. So here we are. Not that I'm complaining about it. Hey, we got to spend some time together with all our family. I'm not complaining. The crowd of people passing by stayed as nosy as ever. Sharp contrast to the silence that had fallen over Ewan Cove. He was rubbing the screen of his phone against his shirt, wiping away dust and debris. He continued scrubbing the screen long after anything could have remained. The action, a poor substitute for pushing away the awkwardness of the moment. I'm gonna pick this one. You didn't care about what your moms had done. I mean, so what? At least we got to spend some time together. Me and Cole got to spend some time together. So if they took off and went on their own, who cares? You didn't change what you'd done today. Only who you've done it with. I'm gonna pick this one. They can be really weird, huh? I ask.
Are you okay?
Are you alright? Asked Cove. His voice was gentle. I'm peachy. I'm not bothered by this situation. That's good. Abandoning us without warning wasn't really a cool idea. Even if they meant well, which they probably did, says Cove. He looked you straight in the eyes. You're really nice and understanding. Not making a big deal out of this is only one single example of that. But you didn't have to be nice all the time. You don't have to be nice all the time. Stuff can bother you. That's okay too, says Cove. People will understand. I'll understand, says Cove. They don't have anything to complain about. So what? They went off on their own. At least me and Cove got to be together. Who cares? Nothing ever? Asked Cove. I don't know, I exclaimed. His mouth hung open, and then he laughed.
No way.
No way.
Come on. You've got to have plenty of stuff to complain about just from the Stunts I've pulled myself, let alone what's happening today, says Cove. You cracked a grin at that, despite yourself. He could certainly be a troublemaker when he wanted to be, but he could also be so kind. After a moment, he stepped away from you, face turned. Cove closed his eyes and took a deep breath. His brows ceased, then furrowed deeper into a scroll. His arms tightly pulling together. So they did do something stupid. I knew it, says Cove. His voice had taken on exaggerated quality, but what truly distinguished it from Cove's typical speaking tone was the obvious of range. This is such a chore. Parents are so dumb. Why do people have to go places with family members anyways? I hate them. And I also hate farmers markets, says Cove. You got it instantly. It had been years since the boy with the bowl cut had been in town for the summer, but Cove had never forgotten. Making fun of the mean kid, weren't we? Yep. I know he didn't mean it. He wasn't actually mad. Oh, yeah, he's upset, sort of, but more. I think it's more like he's just annoyed. But it's, at the same time, he's just kind of making fun of the old mean kid. So yeah. To this day, he continued to unleash his impersonation whenever the moment felt right. Sometimes you wondered if the act had grown more exaggerated over the years, or if the kid really was always that ridiculous. That kid is never going to live that down, huh? I ask. Not ever, says Cove. Cove gave you a lopsided smile, letting the joke rest for now. Come on, we should probably go meet up with the group, says Cove. Yeah, I exclaimed. You didn't dally any longer, slipping back into the crowd and making your way towards the entrance of the farmer's market. It didn't take long to reach the parking lot. Your mom's, Mr. Holden, and Liz were already waiting there, and they waved at you both as you approached. And that's that same parking lot. It's weird. Is every parking lot in this town the same? It's weird. Okay? Just saying. Your own family seemed to be in a pretty good mood, in pretty good moods. In contrast to Mr. Holden, he stared at Cove with open concern as you got closer. Hey, bud. Hey, Chippy. How you doing? Asked Mr. Holmes. We'd be doing better if we hadn't been abandoned in the farmer's market by our families, says Cove. You saw your mom's frowning at the response, Mom glancing from Clove to Mom with blinking eyes. Just because Chippy tries to make things good time no matter what doesn't mean you can just leave him out of your plans and expect him to go with it every time, says Cove. Ma hung her head, ashamed, and Mom had a hand pressed to her cheek. You could tell that they were quietly regretting their scheme.
I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry, Chippy, says Mom. Her words were full of emotion. Ma squeezed Ma's arm. We were trying to make the errand more of a trip, less than of a chore, says Mom. Ma nodded. We didn't think you, Cove, and Liz wanted to be stuck trudging around a market with your parents all day, says Mom. Especially not in the summer, says Mom. But you're always very thoughtful and didn't like to leave your moms behind, so we did ourselves. It was only going to be for the market, not the other stops, I promise, says Mom. Still, you're right. We could have just told you and let you make your own call, says Mom. I really am sorry. Neither of us meant to upset you, says Mom.
I'm really sorry.
All gas, no brakes, and should have known better. Sorry, says Mom. Mom ditched me too after pulling her urgent potty break stunt, if that helps. I went off to do my own shopping, as it seems they planned, says Liz.
Sorry.
Sorry, I didn't check back in with you. I wasn't thinking and just tried to blow it off, says Liz. You quietly took in their stories of what happened. Over to the side, Cove was talking to his dad. Thanks for telling me something was up. Though I feel bad for missing the warning when you sent it, says Cove.
You're welcome.
It's no trouble, sport. I learned my lesson about making surprise plans, says Mr. Holmes. So yeah, he wasn't a part of it. He knows better now. He knows better to make, surprise stuff like that. Don't want to cause an upset moment. Besides, I've got to register every thought that wanders through this head by you first, right? Says Mr. Holmes. That sounds about right. Yeah, says Cove. Yeah. Cove smiled at his dad. Mr. Holden, laughing, clapped Cove on the back.
Not bad.
Wow, we're really being outplayed today, says Mom. You realized you hadn't been the only onlookers to the Holden's moment. Your moms were exchanging rueful looks. Liz had her arms crossed over her chest, apparently watching it all unfold. Yes, it looks like it, says Mom. We better find some way to catch up, says Mom.
In that case,
Maybe we can do Chippy's chores from the next week, Ma asked. Mom jaded Ma on the shoulder. Jabbed Ma on the shoulder. You might be onto something. Chippy, how do you like the sound of that? Says Mom. They looked at you hopefully. Sounds good to me. I can get out of chores for a week. That sounds good to me. Okay. Good. We're serious, says Mom. At the very least. We can make sure everyone stays together for the rest of the stops we're making today, says Mom. You nodded at the suggestion.
yes.
We won't let you down. We'll be the best sheepdogs ever, guarding the flock and catching any strays, says Mom. Excuse me.
Funny.
Excuse me. We could at least be sheep herds. Shepherds, I mean. Says Mom. Yeah. Hate these allergies. You chuckled, your mom moon lifting in spite of the bumpy morning. It was going to be alright. You turned to the entrance for the farmer's market for one final glance, pressing into your memory under this new light. You thought of what you picked up at the market and how you were going to enjoy it later. Some things you could get from local suppliers like this. That was another perk about coming along to the market today. Ooh, why? Damn. Actually, you realized this would be a good time to bring out the fudge you got to share, while everyone was clustered together. Your attention, please. I have something for you all, I exclaimed. The announcement grabbed everyone's interest, and they looked over at you, each curious about what you had in store. You dug your hand into the bag and pulled out a specialty selected treat. There we go. Chair up a little bit. Yeah. There we go. There was a great fudge stall, and being so kind and generous, I got a box for us to try together, I exclaimed. Oh, says Liz.
Aww.
That's so sweet of you, says Mom. The Holdens were wearing matching grins at the prospect of free dessert. Their family resemblance more noticeable as they mirrored each other's expression. Sweet is the right word for this. Thanks very much, Chippy, says Cliff.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, says Cove.
You're fantastic.
Great. Can't wait to bust it open, says Mom. We should save it for tonight. You can't properly enjoy a treat when there's still chores to be done. Besides, we don't want to make a mess with it, melting in this heat, says Mom. The others murmured their agreements and nodded. Reaching a consensus, you stowed the box away safely for now. Cove then slided up next to you, an eager smile on his face. You could tell from his expression that he was up to something. Thanks again for getting fudge. It was really cool of you, says Cove. You know, he hadn't come over just to thank you individually. Not with that huge smirk. I got something to share too, but, well, only with you. I guess I'm not as nice. Oh well, says Cove. You've been plotting your own scheme. You've been plotting your own scheme, I asked. He laughed. Anyway, well, sort of picked something out with you in mind, says Cove. You held your hand to your chest, staring at Cove as he explained further.
I mean,
Since your moms decided we should shop separately, I figured I could use the time to get you something, just as a little surprise, says Cove. He reached into his bags and retrieved one of the wrapped up objects. You accepted an unexpected present. He looked excitedly as you tore off the paper. It was a glass bottle of cola soda. You didn't need to taste it to know that it would be nice. It was a boutique product. It was heavy in her hands. The container, smart metal cap, reaffirming the quality. Even the label, constructed from a coarse paper rather than a flimsy sheet of plastic, was distinctive. You were practically bouncing in anticipation, and he smiled sweetly at your reaction. It's not a big deal, but I just thought of you might like it, says Cove. Of course, I like it. You're so wonderful. You weren't the only one that had that idea. Asked Cove. His eyes began to widen. I got something for you too, when you weren't around, I exclaimed. There was a burst of laughter, first from your mom, followed by a chorus of chuckles from the other three. You'd gotten what they were still hanging around. Unfortunately, they hadn't paid you and Cove the same courtesy and had been listening in your conversation. You weren't even apart for a whole day, says Liz. And you both still used that as a chance to get each other little gifts, says Mom. Mom claps her hands together, eyes bright.
Good job. Good job.
That's so lovely, says Mom. A day. It was less than a whole morning, says Mom.
Right? Right?
True. I don't even want to think about what happens when you spend real time apart, says Liz. That's my boy, says Cliff. You reach back into the bag where you had first retrieved the box of fudge for everyone. Stuffing inside to take out the other one underneath. You smirked widely, amused that the others were still watching you. That first box was for the rest of those people to split among themselves. But I got an extra special one for you, I exclaimed. Cole's face lit up, his grin scratching from ear to ear. The laughter that came from the others, who were fully turned on into your little show, didn't appear to reach him.
Seriously?
Seriously?
Really? It's only for me? Cove asked. Cove took the box of fudge in one hand and clamped one of your hands with his other. He used the hold he had to lead you closer to him, while he lifted the hand to his mouth and prepared kisses over your knuckles. Thank you, says Cove. He looked at you with shining eyes. At this rate, it wouldn't just be your little group that knew what you'd been treating him. The whole parking lot was going to learn about it. Behind Cove, you could see Mom watching you both with a smile hierarchy. See? This is why he's so attached. You spoiled him, says Mom. Did I miss something? Nope. Okay. You shouldn't make fun, Pam. It's clearly mutual, says Mom. Besides, I don't hear you complaining when I'm spoiling you, says Mom. Ma pinched Mom's cheek, making her laugh as she batted the hand away.
True.
True, said Mom. Liz clapped her hands together with air of a teacher calling for her attention. Since the other adults aren't acting like grown-ups, the rest of us are going to have to pick up the slack, says Liz. It's time to get back on schedule and continue with the rest of the errands. Playtime is officially over, says Liz. Ma laughed while Mr. Holden grinned awkwardly. Ma hung her head in exaggerated display of mock defeat. Kids are tough, and I can't even call them kids anymore, says Mom. Liz tottered with amusement at her mother. Cove shrugged, staying a neutral observer, but the small smile on his face revealed that he was enjoying the conclusion. Sorry that term has expired, I exclaimed. You grinned, letting them know that you were at least partly joking, though really you and Cove and Liz could hardly be called kids these days. You were glad that everyone was getting along. With that, your trip to the farmer's market was closed. It was time to move on. There were too many of you for one car, so you and Cove had wound up in Mr. Holden's car on the way over. You figured it made sense to do the same for the next leg of the journey. You sat next to Cove in the back. Immediately after the click of seatbelts in its lock announced that Cove was safely strapped in, he began to unfold the box of fudge he'd been given. "You gonna eat now?" I asked. "Uh-huh," says Cove. He nodded eagerly, not taking his eyes from the container. He lifted the top off, longingly admired the selection inside. Minty fudge is perfect for the end of snacking. It's so refreshing, says Cove. Is the green fudge lime? Cove asked. Yeah, key lime, I exclaimed. That's amazing, cause it's fudge, but also fruity somehow, says Cove. That's peanut butter in there, right? Asked Cove. Mm-hmm. It's chocolate with peanut butter mixed. Oh, that's so good, says Cove. Can you tell me what the little flecks are? Asked Cove. It's toffee, I exclaimed. Says Cove. Once Cove had finished bestowing praise on what you'd pick, he promptly started sampling the selection. He was smiling, licking his lips, and having a grand old time. You could also tell from the way his nibbling was turning into munching that the box wasn't going to survive the trip to the next stop. You were right. Cove had tried to savor the treats, planning just one more until there was only one left, and the statement was finally forced to be true. He finished the last one too. He sighed contentedly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks again, Chippy. Those really were great, says Cove. You're welcome, I exclaimed. He set the picked clean box on the side, then rested his hands on his spoiled tummy. Cove wasn't going to be hungry for a while after that. From there, he sat wordlessly, gaze drifting to the window. You knew Cove well enough to spot the signs of when he was physically present but mentally elsewhere. The way he fell quiet, staring without seeing the long blinks, all of which he was doing right now as he looked at nothing in particular. He licked his fingers, absentmindedly getting the last of the melted fudge off his hand. You were pleased he enjoyed it so much. You closed your eyes as you pulled up to resolve to speak. You wiggled your eyebrows at him jokingly. So, what were you so lost in thought about? I asked. Well, I was thinking about how nice you are, says Cove. How nice I am? I ask. Yeah, says Cove. His face grew redder as his hands clenched around the top of his knees. He stared at him, hoping for an explanation, but Cove simply ducked his head. When he stopped, he spoke next. His words barely more than a whisper. I'm lucky to get to be with you, says Cove. That's so sweet. He peeked at you from the corner of his eyes, still too shy to look at you directly. You smiled at him affectionately. silently and equally caring smile from Cove in return. Sorry I have trouble with a lot of these words. I'm doing the best I can, so bear with me. Like I said before, sometimes I have trouble with words, and I'm doing the best I can, right? At least I try. You felt content, secure in your relationship with Cove. You wanted to save your drink for later. Yeah, I'll save it for later. It was clearly special. You intended to make sure you gave it the attention it deserved. You spent the rest of the day completing the remaining errands all together as a group. You enjoyed your brief independence. It might not have come about under ideal circumstances, but it had provided you with an opportunity to spend time making your own choices. You felt that you'd risen to the challenge. And that's it. I'm still going to do the talks moment, but I'm going to hold off on it. I'm going to take a break. Just go ahead and let this one load onto YouTube for now. Kind of take a break before I get into the talks moment. So, again, thank you for watching my YouTube channel. Don't forget to click that like button and click the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Okay, fix that here. Fix the cord here. There we go. Yeah, so don't forget to go to my Patreon account and become a Patreon contributor. I'm still doing the VIP special for it's $25. It's a VIP contributor slot that you can do, and if you do that, you will get either a free sticker or a free button pin with a picture of me in fursuit saying thank you for being a VIP contributor. However, it's only for a limited time now, only until the 8th of April. So if you want to get on it, you better get on it. You don't have much time until the 8th of April, and once it's gone, it's gone. Okay, so yeah, I will see you guys later. Bye for now.